Hello everybody, this is going to be a very quick intro to the navigation of the course so that you always know where to go and what is expected. And I'm going to follow this up with another short video about the discussion boards in particular. Alright, so I've got the course set up into what I'm calling modules. So the first one I'm really considering a module is Intro Beginnings, Brookfield Asking Questions. And of course right now you're looking at this before the course module. But that's kind of like do it before the start of the course or along with the Brookfield in the first week, right? And then every week we're going to do a different module. So this is week one, Brookfield is week one, Virtue in Education is week two, Doing Dewey is week three, etc. And I've got the syllabus right here that obviously you should read. And then also in this is called a widget here. I've got in this widget the weeks that are coming up, and as the course proceeds, I'll just keep putting more information here. If we look at the syllabus, an important thing that also helps with the organization is to look at the list of weeks and the schedule. So that's the same thing that I've got in the widget there. And you see we're going to basically do a module that precedes what we're going to do with the Noddings text, and then we're going to follow the Noddings text for a while. We're going to do chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, skip chapter 4, and so on. But then starting October 6th for 2 weeks, we're going to leave that format, and we're going to do something called poster sessions. So in this week, there's not going to be anything happening in D2L except that you're going to be doing some more reading and research and writing related to something we've done earlier, but in more depth and in a way that's of specific interest to you. And then the week following that, we're going to do what I'm calling a poster session, where you create something. It might be a traditional paper, but hopefully it'll be something a little bit different that has a presentational aspect to it. It might be a video that you make. It might be a Prezi that you create with your voice narrating. And it's going to be on something we've done earlier in the semester, but with your own twist to it. And like a poster session, it should be something that attracts an audience. So you got to think of something that's going to be of interest to you, but also interest to your peers. And you're going to create that, put a link up in D2L, or maybe I'll come up with another place to put it. And then we'll have some interaction around the posters that you create. So that's, you might look at that as the first half of the semester. And then we go back to doing Noddings for several weeks, skip chapter 11, and then the same kind of thing we did midterm. We're going to do for now 3 weeks because we got Thanksgiving week in there, spending a little bit more time on one of the topics that we've done in the second half of the course, and then doing a poster session as the wrap up to the course. Right? So that's the sequence of events. Now, in terms of navigating, everything you need is linked from the home page. This is the home page of the course, and within the modules. To help you with these modules, they open and close with these little buttons here. So some of these are fairly long, like I'm scrolling here, it's at least a couple pages of scrolling. So just for your own sanity and being able to see what's going on, you're going to want to probably keep these closed. You're not going to want to have a whole bunch of them open and have to scroll up and down a huge D2L page. So only having the one open that you're currently working on. Also, you notice I do a little color coding here. So the modules that we're currently working on are going to be in orange, and the other ones are going to be in a dark color. Right? For the most part, I really do expect us to stay on the same page in terms of what we're working on at the same time. I really don't want you to work ahead, and I really do expect you to keep on top of things too. Now, if you have something that's coming up and you do want to work ahead, please work that out with me individually through email. And if you get behind on a particular week, that's not going to be terrible, but I want you to let me know about it. And if I see a pattern, that's when there will be an issue. Because really, we need to be having the same conversations at the same time, and some of the topics build. And this course is going to have a lot of interaction between peers, and so it's important that everybody's doing the same thing at the same time. All right, so along the same lines, there's going to be a regular, predictable format to what's happening each week. Each module, except for the first one, has this format where I have basically three kinds of discussions that we'll have. One is an intro ticket. Now the purpose of the intro ticket is to raise a question that's going to be raised more in depth later in the module, and for me to get a first take on what your thoughts are, me and your peers. Get a first take on what your thoughts are. And I want you to do this without doing the reading. So you're going to do the intro ticket before you do any reading, and it's kind of a warm-up activity. When you do the intro ticket, I'm going to ask you to post your answer to one of the questions that I've asked, and then give a very brief response to one or two peers. Okay? When I say brief response, in this module it could be, yeah, I agree, good point. The kind of thing that you're always told not to do. Very quick, brief response. All right? Or it could be more substantive than that, but it still should be brief. All right? So there's an intro ticket each module. There's an unpacking discussion in each module. The unpacking discussion is really designed to help you think through and understand the reading that I've assigned. It's not for you to give your opinion of the reading, but just to say, you know, this was kind of complicated, can you put this together and understand what the reading was about? I'll explain more about this when I get into the video about discussions, but I've got a setting on the unpacking where you have to post first before you can read what other people have written. So in this way, I'm really requiring that you construct your own answer to the reading before you see what other people have come up with for that. And the final one is building a philosophy, and here's where we're going to be asking questions that are more about your ideas on what the reading has been about and how you apply it to practice or connect it to other things. And I'll talk about this more in the discussions video. All right, so there's three kinds of discussions each week. A quick intro that you do before you read, an unpacking where you think through what you did read in terms of just understanding it, and then you engaging in discussion about your ideas related to the reading, right? And there's a timeline for that. So the intro question, I've done a lot of debating with myself about when to require this, but I've decided to make it due by the Sunday night before the week of the module. So again, it's very quick. You haven't done any reading. You could do it Sunday night. You could really do it Friday is when I was also thinking about having you do it Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Just see the discussion, the questions that I've asked, and give your first kind of impression, your answer to those. The unpacking is due by Wednesday night of the week of the module that we're on. So I'm expecting that, you know, a lot of you are busy during the week, and so you probably are doing the reading over the weekend. Maybe you're doing some Monday or Tuesday night, but you got to get the reading done by Wednesday so that you can do the unpacking response by Wednesday night. And so the building of personal philosophy, that of course depends on having done the reading, and so the discussion on that is going to take place Wednesday through Saturday. So you can see that two different modules are going to overlap slightly. So we'll be wrapping up the discussion from a personal perspective Wednesday through Saturday, while you're also thinking ahead a little bit to what the intro question is going to be for the next module. All right, so that's a basic overview of the timeline and how things will work with the timeline. A couple technical points. Again, everything's in these widgets. They open and close. And everything you need is in the widget. So if I want you to do a discussion or I have a reading for you to do, the link is going to be in the widget. So there's a discussion board for the intro ticket. If you click this, it opens a new window to that discussion board. You can get to the discussion boards by going to communication discussion, but you don't have to. Everything is in this, is linked from the widgets. And those are the only two places really in D2L that you might go, is the communication discussion list or anywhere on this page. I'm not using the quiz feature. I guess I will be using the grade feature to keep track of points, so you might go there occasionally to check your points. Other than that, everything is navigated to from the home page. I do have this predictable format used because I think in an online class it's really important to know what you have to do when, because it's really easy to get it lost in an online class. And so I try to create that predictable structure so that we get into a pattern and that hopefully is workable. All right, that's the overview to the navigation for the course.